If you're watching this, it's because you're considering bringing me into your world, whether that be as a creative partner, a strategic thinker, or just an operator. And I want this to be more than just a resume. I want you to know more about me at the end of this video. This is an insight into how I think, some of the work that I've done, and my lived experiences and how they translate into my work. So to cut a long story short, I grew up in Southeast Asia where I learnt a lot about the world in a very short amount of time. Growing up in Southeast Asia was the beginning of everything for me. It was where I originated, where I came to form, I suppose. I learnt how to read rooms really quickly, create new friends in the short amount of time that I had moving country to country. I became culturally aware. I think this was amazing in helping me to understand more about humans and connect with humans. After my origin in Southeast Asia, after living there for about 10 years, I came back to Perth to study sports science, and this is where I fell in love with everything wellness and everything to do with health. I worked as a practitioner for a while. I became a sports nutritionist. I ran my own coaching business, and I was completely health obsessed. And through my health obsession, I wanted to help other people become healthier versions of themselves. And this is where I started coaching. When I became a coach, I stood on some really strong philosophies around how to navigate health, how to look after yourself, how to perform the best at work. And a demographic that I worked really closely with was FIFO workers, so people working in mining in Australia, as I saw that this was a massive gap in the market because not a lot of people were looking after these poor dudes and girls that were going through absolutely tremendous hours every single week. And this was something that I was really passionate about helping. I led toolbox talks. I got up in front of 200 to 300 FIFO workers, spoke about health and wellness, did all of these things. And then through coaching and building my business, I actually fell in love with the camera. This is something I've always loved to do. I've always loved to be in front of a camera and behind it too. But yeah, when I was a coach, it really made me double down on my content. I started posting on social media. I was running a YouTube channel as well. And then through all my coaching, I made modules so that people could learn and educate themselves as they went along. All of this required the camera, editing skills, and this was something that I was also very involved with from a young age. I used to make hundreds of different YouTube videos. I used to always be filming, creating short films, running around with friends with the camera. And that's when I decided that I wanted to do this full time, and I started creating content for businesses. This went really well. It was great. I filmed so much in such a short amount of time. I was operating for about 1.5 years, and I had covered so many different industries. Social media content, website content, campaigns, marketing, working on lead management, building out fragrance campaigns. This is how far it went. I did everything that I possibly could get my hands on, and I was absolutely loving it. But at the end of last year, I realized that there's actually so much more than meets the eye to one, helping someone speak comfortably on camera, knowing what to talk about, and really speaking from their truth. And this is where I decided that this is where I want to go with it. I want to help founders understand their truth a little bit better, what makes them unique, what makes them stand out from the crowd, and use that as your leverage points to market and to generate a visual ecosystem that works so well for the business. And this is what I'm doing now. I'm teaching what I call the silly goose framework, which is overcoming your silly goose. And this is something that I struggled with a lot before I could comfortably speak on camera. Goose stands for guilt, opinion aversion, overthinking, self-esteem, and external validation. These were all the things that were in my way before I could start talking on camera, before it felt like me was coming out, not someone who was performing. So this is something I'm teaching at the moment, and I'm starting to work with founders to help them uncover their truth, speak comfortable on camera, and then build insanely visually pleasing and also strategic visual ecosystems for their business and brand. Because I realized that content without the truth and without the strategy doesn't really do much. Now, what I'm looking for is to work with people that help people. For one, I think that's something that I am insanely passionate about within my background and then where I'm at now with life. I just love helping people, and I want to be as involved as you are in your brand or business. This is where I want to be a part of something, and I don't want to just be the content creator, just be the person that comes in and films a couple pieces of content and then buggers off. I want to be the person that's involved in the business so that I can build a relationship with you, learn you even more, and then move from there, because that's just how I operate. So if you're looking for someone that just shoots content, I'm unfortunately not that. But if you're looking for someone that can clarify, dive deep with you, learn your truth, amplify something that's real, and be your friend along the way, that's me. I'm Joel. Thanks for checking out this video. If you scroll on in the presentation, you'll see more of my skill set, how I operate, how I think, and then some of my favorite work. Yo!